As a corporate lawyer, the first question that a lot of clients have when they want to start a business is what choice of entity should they choose? And it's complex, frankly, because there's a lot to choose from sole proprietorships to corps to LPs, limited partnerships, LLLPs, LLCs. It goes on. So I want to try in a very short and concise way to lay out some of the different features. So the first one and the easiest to understand is the sole proprietorship. The sole proprietorship, you don't have to file with any state or federal entity. It's really as simple as just opening a lemonade stand. You just simply start selling a product. And any income that you make is just taxed at your ordinary tax rate. However, there's a lot of risk with sole proprietorships because, frankly, if something happens, if someone gets sick from the lemonade, if there's any liability, there's no corporate shield. All of the liability falls directly on you. So someone can go after all of your personal assets. It's not far off from that to talk about a partnership. And a partnership really is just two people who get together to start selling a product. Just like a sole proprietorship, there's no filing. And frankly, a court can, in many cases, when people don't choose a specific entity, a court will just say, look, it looks like you have a de facto partnership. Now, partnerships, same thing as before. There's no liability shield, but worse yet, even if you have 2 or 5 or 100 partners, in a general partnership, any one partner can bind all of the other partners. So you have to be very careful about who you choose. And frankly, neither of those structures have perpetual duration. So sole proprietorship ends when you pass away. Partnership dies when you stop working together. Some of the more sophisticated structures are corporations. Now there's 2 flavors, C Corps and S Corps. Now it should be really simple to choose because I think most people starting off don't start as C Corps. C Corps are taxed at 2 different levels. Now yes, you have a liability shield, but in an LLC you also have that, and in an LLP you have that. So all of these structures are formed usually by filing with the Secretary of State. But in a C Corp you're paying tax twice. Federal tax, which is now 21%, and then there's a dividend tax, which is 15% when the investors draw money out. A S Corp is one of the most efficient structures because in an S Corp you get the liability shield, you have perpetual duration, but there are a couple of limitations. Only 75 people can get together and become part of a S Corp. Also, all of the members of the S Corp have to be legal U.S. residents. So, you can't have a fund or another corporation or an offshore person ever investing in an S Corp. But if you do have an S Corp of just U.S. residents, you'll have pass-through tax liability, but you'll have a protection from creditors and anyone who would ever want to sue. The last is the LLC. And I have to admit, it's my favorite because the LLC, it's new and it's not very widely understood, but the upside is you have only one level of tax, you have a great liability shield that protects the members from lawsuits, but the best part is that you can really write your own law in many ways. It's all put together in an operating agreement. And in your own operating agreement, it's not on file with anybody. The IRS doesn't have a copy, and nor does the Secretary of State of Georgia or any other state. But you can choose to say, well, I'm going to own 1% but have 100% control. And someone else could have 99% ownership and 0 control. You can choose how to allocate profits and losses, and best of all, at any point you can convert into another entity down the line. So it's probably the most efficient structure. I like to refer to it as a bit of a stem cell. It can grow and morph later down the line and fit you at the beginning stage and at the later stages.